All right, welcome everyone. This is Joe Hexotic, aka XO Joe. Welcome tonight to your Discourse Syndicate. I have a very special guest tonight with me for experience, strength, and hope. Brisology is going to be joining me. Just want to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining live. If you're watching on replay, excuse me for 1 second. Left the other window open. I was hearing a double. So, thank you for joining us. If you want to get some trolling out of the way, like COG is saying, the beginning of the show is probably the best time. I don't know exactly what we're going to get into, but I know Brisology is somebody that I've watched him stream for quite a while and always love what he has to say. And he's somebody that inspires me and somebody that I've been looking forward to streaming with since before I even really began. He's just somebody that I watched that provided great amounts of entertainment as a cutthroat on Discourse Syndicate. I got to meet him in person in Las Vegas. So I'm going to give everybody a minute to get over here. Again, it's Joe Exotic, a.k.a. XO Joe. It's Monday night on the East Coast. It's 9 p.m., getting started a little bit later than usual here. Joker was just on Discourse Syndicate, and coming up, Motley, I believe, is going to be coming on in about 90 minutes. I don't think he's going to be on Discourse Syndicate, but his own channel. So welcome, everybody. After the intro, I'll bring on Brisology. Thank you.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Got a very special guest tonight with me. Brisology is joining me, and we're going to get right to it. Brisology, I hope you're ready. You dressed, brother? All right, he is. Here we go. How's it going? Yeah, I'm mute, Bris.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Doing good, brother. Good to see you.
Sound check. You can hear me now? Great.
Can hear you. Coming in loud and clear.
Perfect. How you doing, Joe?
Doing great. Just got off stream with Cabana and
Nice.
Big K, a couple other gentlemen that we're playing fantasy football with. So
Did you get your team picked out? I didn't get to see the whole thing.
I got a squad, dude. I got a squad.
Nice.
So these guys are in trouble.
What's the name of your football team?
I didn't really get to a name yet. It's just Joe Hexotic right now.
All right.
Maybe we can figure that out along the way tonight.
Oh, we're gonna have to get you a good football name, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. So how you feeling, Briss?
I'm doing freaking fantastic. I'm looking
Good,
at these hex prices, and oh boy, man, life. I have no complaints. Got no complaints.
It's pretty wild, that's for sure. The X price. Things are incredible as it is. You know, life's up and down. Been a good year, and then talk about icing on the cake with the gains lately. It's absurd. It's unheard of.
Yeah, I mean it's been a wild ride, that is for sure. I just never expected it to climb quite like this, but it's just kind of exponential when that liquidity goes away, right?
Yeah. Are you known as conservative on your price calls in our community? I can't really think of you calling out price calls. Are you a little bit shy with that?
No, not at all. I mean, I think it's, quite frankly, I think it's going to like Bitcoin level prices. we're going to see, just like we saw 40-cent Bitcoin, we're going to, we see the 40-cent Hex, and we're going to see a $40 Hex eventually, and then $100 Hex eventually, because, it's just too good of a financial product for people not to, with any sensible brains to not get into it. It's just kind of, if you're going to get into crypto, you want to get in the Hex. It's too good.
That's for sure.
So I am not conservative with my price calls for a Hex.
Good.
I think it's gonna go to $1 very quickly after Pulse launches.
Not before, not
it could go before, but it's for sure gonna go right after.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, I think everyone getting into Pulse, they're gonna see such like big gains within the first couple months, and they're going to want to cash out, but I doubt people are going to just want to hold it in cash. And so where they're going to take those Pulse gains, they're probably going to take them over to Hex and just put all those gains into Hex and then lock up that Hex, and the Hex is going to go up even higher. And it's going to be like a wonderful circle of life.
Nice. Yeah, I think I talked about this before. Maybe somebody could create the Hex smart contract on the Pulse chain. I don't know if you could figure out a way of that. Hex Live is here, so maybe Hex Live could help me out with this. Could somebody make it so that we could stake Pulse on the Pulse chain through the Hex contract, in a similar layer too, so that we'd have just that one more option.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not that we need it, but just curious.
I don't know how it would work, but you know what? Get on it, developers.
Right. So, Brisology, I just wanted to let you know, if I didn't say already, I don't think I have, but maybe previously, you were on stream, the 24-hour stream when I came on and told everybody my story for the first time, and that was a big moment for me in my life, and also for us in Hex. When Hex Cadet made the Hex Rewind, I was really grateful to be a part of that and to look back on it. And I've watched it so many times, and I just remember being on stream with you that day. And you're just a great guy, like I just really appreciate you in this community. And I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what makes you up. What kinds of experiences you've had. I just feel like friends, right away without even knowing you. And then to get to meet you in person and hang out, you're a great guy, just like I knew you would be. You're exactly like I knew you would be. And this show, Experience, Strength, and Hope, it's kind of a cool thing as far as what we bring to the table. We get to talk about what we've done, as far as our experiences in life, and it's an opportunity for us to get to know each other better. And all of us have been through quite extraordinary circumstances, dynamic ups and downs, family, friends, work, school, wherever the conversation goes. I would just love to get to know you a little bit better. And I can pose some questions along the way, but typically how this works is it's really just kind of like an open forum where I just ask you to kind of start as far back as you're willing to take us and go as deep as you're willing to go, and share some things about, Brisology, and then we'll get into how you found Hex, Richard Hart, close out in about 80 minutes from now. So no pressure. We've done this a couple times, you and I in a green room, just hanging out and talking in person. So it's kind of like that. If you have any questions along the way, certainly ask them. And just want to take this opportunity to say thank you, Briss, for doing this, because this is
no problem.
This is really a big deal for me to have a stream with you, to share this experience with you. It's just want to say thank you. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, it all started at the beginning. It was a sunny day in the 1980s when my mom saw my dad, and I'm just joking. No, real quick, going back to going on that live stream with you during the 24-hour, I remember you having one of the best top hats there.
Thank
I
you,
was
bro.
like, dang, this guy is serious. That looks like a really nice top hat. And you're sitting on one of those thrones back there.
Yeah, that was
And
cool.
dude, you look so freaking cool coming on stream with that get up and your suit. And I'm over there looking like a pilgrim with my Halloween $1.99, pilgrim hat. But
Well,
yeah,
thank
no,
you.
that was awesome being on stream with you way back then. You know, we
Yeah,
can really say we're a couple OGs, right?
for sure, dude. That was cool to have you, call out the throne back then. Because when I keep watching the video, you compare it to Richard Hart's setup, and
Yeah, right.
I didn't know where to stream. I just got home. This is my house that we're selling right now up in Connecticut. So I was down in Florida when that whole stream was planned, and I wanted to get home here, and I had a suit, I had something to wear, but I certainly didn't have a top hat. So I had to order a top hat, and I felt so uncomfortable. Like, am I really gonna go do this? And I'm just so grateful I did. What a experience that
Dude, it
was.
looked awesome. It
Yeah,
looked
thank
so
you.
cool.
It was so much fun.
So friggin' A, my journey into this whole hex thing, probably just kind of like Richard started back way before hex ever happened. I saw Bitcoin in 2013, and I remember the first time I saw it, I kind of shrugged it off a little bit. My buddy was like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy some of this. I got some Bitcoin. I'm gonna buy some drugs on the illegal dark on the
Yeah,
Silk Road, right?"
yeah.
I'm like, "All right, well, good luck with that."
Don't use my address, right?
Yeah, all right. And then I just didn't really think about it for like several months later. And then I think I was just on my computer one day, and I think I saw Jon Stewart on the Daily Show
Yep.
way back before whoever took it over took it over.
Trevor
I stopped.
Noah or
I don't know. I
somebody
stopped
before.
watching after Jon Stewart, but anyways, I saw him do a piece on Bitcoin, and he had this whole thing about you know illegal buying drugs on the dark net, and and the price going up and this and that, and them just generally mocking it and making fun of it. I was like, oh man, right then and there, I was like, you know what? How is my buddy, who isn't nearly as a techie as much as I am, know about this Bitcoin thing? I don't know anything about it. Now I'm watching on TV.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? Let me look into this. And at the time, it was like at that point, it was November or late October, early November of 2013. And I just started looking into it. I'm like, oh, scarce supply. There's only 21 million of them. They're $200 each. I'm like, I signed up for Mount Gox, and I got rejected. So we're not
What do you
accepted
mean you
anymore.
signed up?
I tried to get an account for Mount Gox in late 2000, quarter four of 2013, and they went bang. They exploded in December
Oh,
of
wow.
2013. And I tried to sign up, but they rejected me, and so I ended
Wow.
up signing up over on Coinbase. And I put in like $5, and I said, you know what? Let me just see how this thing works. I'll put $5 into this, and we'll go from there. And then I saw, Bitcoin going from like 200, 205, 210, 215. I'm like, oh, I get it. Supply and demand. And and everyone that watching Comedy Central just saw it. I'm like, this stuff is gonna, get bought up before the end of the year. You know what I mean? And you know what? And then that's when Mt. Gox imploded, and the price of Bitcoin went from about $300 to $1,200. But here's the real quick before that part is that I tried to put more money into Coinbase, and they're like, hey, slow your roll, let your first $5 go through, and then you could buy more. I was like, damn it, I'm all, this thing's gonna be like $1 million by the end of
tomorrow. Yeah.
by the end of 2013. It's gonna be so high. I'm like, this is the supply demand. And so I went on Craigslist and I found some dude selling Bitcoin on Craigslist.
Wow.
And I went over to his house and freaking $300, and I bought a whole Bitcoin plus a little bit more.
Wow.
And this guy, he was like a miner, and he's just trying to get me into like other Bitcoin platform mining things that I
Other
just wasn't.
currencies or pools
No,
for Bitcoin?
like pools or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Like trading desk.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I was just like, no, I just want to buy the coins.
Give me my Bitcoin, bro.
Yeah. And and then from there on, I was just kind of like, hey, I was in the cryptocurrencies. And Richard always says there's two types of people that really make it big with Bitcoin. The really smart people, the people that like they didn't really make the Mt. Gox platform, but they took it over. The people that programmed the cypherpunks, the really smart people, right? And then the other group of people that really do good on Bitcoin are the mud-eating idiots. And I fall into that category because, I'm just like, hey, these people on the internet, they're telling me there's only 21 million. I can't read the code. I'm going to believe it. And, so I kind of like, I don't want to say like I just believe anything I read, but, I did my research.
Right away. Yeah.
I understood the concepts of the cryptocurrencies and how they work. And, I'm not a developer or nothing like that, but, I listen to the developers and, I hear what they say.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say 9 out of 10 out of us, in my experience, are here certainly because of our interest in Bitcoin to just start, right? That's where we first heard about everything. And now maybe it might not be so frequent where that happens, but that's it's extremely intriguing story too. Like once you start to read about its creation, its developers, and the lore behind it, the what's the word, enigma. It's a very invigorating story, to research on your own.
And also the other thing too is around that time, I was also on Reddit a lot, and I was on the conspiracy boards, and they're
nice.
like, and
yeah, me too.
This is just 2013, so this is 5 years after the 2008 collapse, and everyone's just like, hey, the whole system is bullshit. The currency is bogus. I was watching Bill Still documentaries.
I don't know him.
He's really good. He has he's done documentaries on one of them's called The Money Masters.
Oh yeah, the 4 hours, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
That's great. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's great. He has another one, The Road to Oz, or The Secret of Oz, where he just kind of just talks about the people behind how that movie's a whole allegory for the whole money system.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. I didn't know he had a movie on that as well, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'd been watching like things like that, and then kind of getting to be like a little bit of a silver bug a little bit. Really? I was like, as soon as I actually have money, I'm gonna buy silver. And I remember like at one point I'm like, when Bitcoin goes to 100 grand, I'm gonna take some of this out and buy like a silver monster box. Still like in that like mindset where like I'm like thinking precious metals. But so I was watching all that stuff, and then I discovered cryptocurrencies right afterwards, and it just kind of all clicked for me. I'm sure. I get it. Digital gold, hard money, hard cap money. It makes a lot of sense versus the unlimited money printing of the Fed, right? And then here comes along Richard Hart and Hex, and I started watching Richard Hart probably at least a year before Hex launched, maybe a year and a half, maybe.
So in 2018, 2019? Or
Yeah, probably
2017, 2018?
it was probably right after 20. It was right around the end of 2017, I bet,
Okay. Wow.
because I think right around then, like Ethereum was getting big, and he came out more to like, hey, quit buying Ethereum. Bitcoin's freaking awesome. Like there's so many flaws in Ethereum. And, I remember looking at Ethereum at 90 cents and just looking at it and going, I should buy 1,000 of these. And I never did because I couldn't figure out what the heck a smart contract could be used for.
Wow, really?
I mean, you got to think about it. Like, there's
I
barely.
can't put it in context. This is really cool, Briss, because I wasn't there, for it. So this is awesome.
Yeah,
Please tell me about it. So what uh was it difficult to buy, first of all? Like, if you wanted to get
I
it, do you
don't.
think you could have?
I don't know. I never bought it.
Okay.
I never bought Ethereum until Hex. The
Okay.
only reason why I ever bought Ethereum was because of Hex. I mean, I watched Ethereum go up, but I always had my Bitcoin and Litecoin and Digibyte holdings, and those always went up with everything as well. And so,
Because those are all forks of Bitcoin, right?
more or less.
Digi's a fork of Litecoin. Litecoin's a fork of Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
but
So
they all
you stayed, what's the word? Not committed. Loyal.
steel hands, baby,
Yeah,
diamond
diamond
hands.
hands.
So yeah, and then I was always kind of like an Austrian economics kind of guy, where they believe more in hard cap money like gold, and I think like Bitcoin would fall into that. It's because you can't just print more money. You have what you have. It is a zero sum game, more or less. And then, because I always thought, hey, you gotta have a budget. You don't work with your budget, you devalue the money, right? You debase the money. And then came along Richard and Hex, and he has this thing with inflation built into it, which is a big no-no to the Austrian economic people. But I've come to realize is that it really doesn't matter if you print out more money. What matters is, where does that money go? Who does that money go to? And with the US dollar, it just goes to the banks. And then the banks go, all right, who wants to borrow this money for interest? Like like you're gonna pay it all back, but hopefully you build something with it, right? So that money, it doesn't go to the people holding the money. And so it just kind of devalues the money for everyone that's holding it, that's not a central banker or the top tier bankers. But with Hex, the money goes directly to the bank accounts of everyone staking it. And so, it's just so much, it's just such a better system. And it gives the powers like, oh, you guys want to print more money. Well, first of all, you can't print more Hex than the allocated 3.69% a year. But, even if that were, I don't even want to say possible, it's not possible. But it's going to the people. It's going to the people. And that's the key difference. And, it just empowers everyone that has it. And it just kind of makes everyone want to get more of it. It's
I think a lot of people share your experience too, Briss. I know I do, with as far as how we found the creation of money, the types of media that we were consuming in those years. Then cryptocurrency came around, and then Richard Hart and Hex. I remember feeling the same way, that like, wow, this is amazing. We get to have all the benefits of being the bank ourselves, and I really love that. And it was like my first, FUD moments for the community were like, this is like too good to believe. Like, there's got to be something wrong. What's the catch? Like, where does this fail? Where does it fall apart? And I would like try to poke around and figure out, okay, well, this is what people are saying, this could be a problem. And you're not supposed to talk about this, and then like you spent time researching and hearing different people talk, and it was through the community that like every idea has been ironed out. But I remember that first approach is like that power to give back to us, to the people, is what's so amazing about it. And we kind of I forget that a lot. It's been a long time since I've had that discussion about that, how exciting that is,
Yeah.
that's the catalyst of the mechanism of Hex, that it does that for us.
And the OA can do miraculous things for everyone involved inside the staker class. The OA could just stake 100 million coins and then in a couple days end it.
Emergency on stake, right?
And just give everyone just a nice little bonus just for being here.
Yeah.
And and I'm not saying that the OA is already doing that, but I see some stakes that have ended a long time ago, but they never ended, and they're just bleeding out. And you're like, very interesting. Why are these people just throwing away their money, and who could it be, and why are they doing it? I have no idea, but I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah, I always thought that would be a baller move for the OA to do also. I used to talk to Hex Live about that a lot. I'd say, that's why you want to stake. You want to get in because that's what's going to happen. Like, imagine what a move that would be. And it's never been a news event that it happened. It certainly could happen. It could happen all the time on smaller scales. But there's been so many other like just life-changing gains and cool events that like, I forgot about that too. It's like the pumpamentals that happen in this product are just amazing. That's just one of them. And there's so many of them we forget.
It's been thoroughly built, and just so many little Easter eggs inside that you kind of forget about all the different possibilities of gains, I guess. And Richard said there's a lot of Easter eggs, I think, inside of Pulse too. So that's pretty exciting to think about myself.
Briss, what do you think about the price of Hex nearly 3xing for most of our sacrifices? Right? I know a lot of people got in at around 18 cents, the first 5 days, as much as 15, but call the average 12, 15. We've 2x to 3x since then. What do you think that does to the Pulse price, if anything? Are our expectations now more because what we put in has gone up so much, so that now do you look at your buy-in and multiply it by 3 at whatever you sacrificed for Hex, if you did sacrifice Hex?
So I haven't really been tracking the price of Hex since I know that like I got in pretty good during the first 5 days, and I got in at like 16 cents, and I was like, hell yeah, because then it did a big dip for a little while, and now look at us. Now we're at freaking 40 cents, 39 cents. So it's almost a 3x. And I sacrificed all of my baby Bitcoins. I sacrificed all of those.
That I know you did.
If it's even
talking
plural.
about that. Yep.
If it's even plural, maybe just a part of a Bitcoin if I have that much. But it went from 30 grand, now it's at over 50 grand. I'm like, damn. But with that said, this is crypto, and Pulse is starting at literally nothing, and it's just at the ground floor. And like I said earlier, I looked at Ethereum at 90 cents, and it had already tripled because the launch of it was at 33 cents. So I was looking at it at 90 cents, just trying to like see if I can figure it out, and I couldn't at the time. So I had my plate of mud I was finishing up.
Yeah.
And and look at it now. So Pulse, if it doesn't do a 1000x in the first 6 months, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be like,
I'm glad somebody said it, right, Briss?
I'm like, what is this baby ass pump of a new coin? 1000x? This is It's a failed project. If it's only does 1,000x in the first month, first 6 months, it's a failed project. I'm sorry, Richard, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to, look at freaking Hex. Hex has done. Did I see something like 6,000x, 7,000x so far?
I know it's 4,000 without staking was raised to 5,000. I thought maybe, but then I just heard 10,000 with staking on Richard's last stream. He said, and more than that, Kareem put out a tweet that showed 14,000x, I believe, from $183 stake. Over $2 million is what it's worth. So he put in 183, and it's worth over $2 million.
I put in $110 back in the day before big payday, and now that stake is worth like, I'll tell you right now, it's worth 17 grand.
Wow.
$110 turned into 17 grand. So I mean, these gains are enormous. They're crazy. I'm sorry, but what did you ask me a question? I spaced out.
No, I don't think so, Briss.
Thinking about that
just
stake.
asking what you thought about the price increase. But you answered it, and I did want to touch on the fact that you sacrificed your Bitcoin. So I didn't mean to lead into it with that question, but same question. So you are known in our community as one of the last heroes of grandfather Bitcoin. And Hex Live is here, like I keep saying. He feels the same way. You guys are not a dying breed, but maybe not as prevalent in our community as
Bitcoin is a rich man's game now. You got to be a rich man to even have one whole Bitcoin. To tell you the truth,
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. If you were to make just to buy one Bitcoin, if you were to drop a 1 month salary on a Bitcoin, that means you're making like 600 grand a year, and you dropped an entire. Wait, is that math even right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay. Whew.
At 50 grand, it's 52K right now, but yeah, at 50.
Yeah, at 50.
I'm cutting out a little bit. I don't know if that's on my end, guys. If that's Briss. I think it's Brisology. He's cutting out.
It's probably my side.
Yeah, cool.
So all I was saying is that if you make $600,000 a year, you got to sacrifice an entire month's salary after taxes just to buy one whole Bitcoin. And so that is completely out of the reach for the average and even like upper middle class. So Bitcoin, so a lot of people are going to be going to other coins, and that's like, honestly, that's the reason why I invested a lot into Litecoin and Digibyte, because Hex wasn't around at the time. And I'm like, man, people can't afford the 50,000. They have unit bias. They want to afford a whole coin. They're going to go to the next best thing that's on the market. That's Litecoin. And then eventually Litecoin is going to go to 10, 12 grand each. And then they're going to try and look for the next best thing. And, but now we got Hex. And as long as you have a good principle with your Hex, even if you staked only for a year at a time, you're still making like 13% interest.
Without price appreciation, yeah.
Without price appreciation. And there's nowhere else you're going to get 13% a year, every single year. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Hex.
So, Briss, what about right now as somebody that, like, you love Bitcoin, you absolutely love it. Do you still love it? Or is Hex, taking that number one spot? Can you share it?
Oh, Hex definitely has the number one spot.
Okay.
In my opinion, there's nothing that can compete with Hex. Bitcoin cannot compete with Hex. But we all gotta, understand Um, you know, Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, Binance, all of these exchanges, all the big money players, everyone on Wall Street. You got to look at whatever coins that they're shilling, right? Those are the ones that are going to be the most successful. Um, if they start like really shoving them down the public's throats, in my opinion.
Like the
That
grayscale ETF funds. So on paper, the Bitcoin, Ethereum funds.
exactly, and
Yeah.
they have, in my opinion, they're stalling the growth of those coins with the paper market, and that's even though Bitcoin's at 50 grand, which is really high, it should be way higher. I mean, there's only 21 million Bitcoins. It should be way higher than what it is. Um, but uh, but so I like Bitcoin. I think it's awesome technology. You can send money from point A to point B anywhere in the world, trustlessly without a third party, and it gets confirmed practically instantly. Everyone's like, you have to wait for 6 confirmations. Shut up. No, you don't. You don't have to wait for 6 confirmations. I ain't standing around no deli counter waiting for 6 confirmations. Get out of here.
They're not going to roll back the chain, right?
Yeah. Are you gonna you gonna wait for 6 confirmations for your hex? No. Like, you don't need to wait for confirmations. No one's double spending nothing. And if they did, I don't know. Think about who you're doing business with.
I'm just getting a message that the Twitch feed was screwed up a little bit. So I don't know if we got any double streams out there tonight, guys. I apologize. Before I went on, I should have went on Restream and updated it because Joker was on before me. So just in case there are 2 streams going and you want to look for the other chat, please do so, because I have a feeling it might be like that over on YouTube. So I apologize for the technical difficulties splitting up the audience, but I can only see half the chat as well. So if you guys are over in the other YouTube, I can't see you. So I apologize. Trying to figure out how to have everybody stream on the same network, and we give a little bit of time between. And I just got the hang of setting up everything, but then I got out of my time slot and got a little bit thrown off. So, Briss, everything should be good, dude.
Now, all I want to say about Bitcoin and Hex is that,
lay it out there, brother.
I love Hex, and I like promoting Hex, and I think it's the future of our space. But I don't.
Briss, I think you're frozen on your end for a second. I can go ahead.
I think it's my internet provider. It seems
you got
to
anything
always
else open, or just your
no,
browser?
Just my browser.
Cool. How about your phone? Is your phone running on Wi-Fi? Because you should shut that off. Even though it's not running anything. Don't shut the phone off, but just turn the Wi-Fi part off.
Let me see. I got roommates. I'm broke.
Oh, that are on your Wi-Fi. You gotta.
Yeah, I got
take them off for this hour.
I got like 20 connected devices.
Oh man, you're doing all right then.
We all have cell phones. We all have computers. We all have freaking our sex bots connected to the Wi-Fi and whatever. But
you were saying about Bitcoin and
yeah. I just don't want to tear down other coins thinking that it builds up our coin, because in my opinion it just makes people sink further into their positions. Think about how many people told us Bitcoin was a scam and Hex is a scam, and all we wanted to do was prove them wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so when our community makes fun of other coins and stuff like that, I don't think it really helps bring people over. They don't go, oh my God, I am holding this shit coin. Let me run over to your coin. All you have to do is just talk positively about our coin. And if you got nothing nice to say, shut your fucking mouth, all right? I'm just kidding. But
Yeah, no, it makes sense, and I think to me it's like a sports, like when two people like two different teams, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that because as long as you still love the sport, like
exactly.
I like players from all over the place is why I like fantasy football. I don't just like one team. I like to watch football, so I like crypto. I just happen to have fallen into Hex as one of my first
Exactly.
ones. I'm very lucky. I love learning about all other currencies, and I've tried to hold a couple throughout time, but just wasn't able to do it. I really just like to bust balls, Briss. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah, me too.
I feel like you're a lot like my buddy Hex Live, and like I got to say the same thing to him all the time. Like, how's Bitcoin doing? And what's nice is it's making a resurgence, going back above 50. Climbing back towards all time high. Are people still calling the bull trap? I don't know. But it's looking like a healthy industry across the board. And the reason that I brought this up, and then also regarding the price of Hex going up since sacrifice, and then the same thing has happened to your Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has appreciated since sacrifice, which I'm happy to hear. I'm happy that we're still in a bull market. I'm happy that we're not in a bear market where everything's going down and Hex is going up. I prefer that we're in a bull market throughout this waiting for pulse so that everything rises so that we all feel like, wow, we could have gotten more, right? I don't
Yeah.
want any one of us subset groups to feel like, we didn't get what everybody else got. And so seems like across the board right now, Hex is still outperforming everything as far as
Oh
I'm
yeah.
aware of, but also Ethereum's up, Bitcoin's up, all the altcoins are up. So
Exactly. I don't want to see no one doing bad in this space.
yeah, for sure.
So
For sure. It's everybody's got to on their own path learn their own things. For me it's like I just learned on my way in. I found Hex quick enough, but I used to have to wait 7 days right through Coinbase. So I had bad habits. I wanted to turn my $1,000 that I was waiting 7 days on into at least 1,100, right? Because that's easy in crypto. And 9 out of 10 times I would do it, and sometimes even turn it into like 2,000 before the week was over. And then like I just got carried away and I found that coin Wi-Fi, and I didn't look into it at all. I was like, well, look at how much this one costs, and it went down like this. I'm like, it's gonna pop back up, and I didn't do any research. I was just like in the mode of like, I know it all now. I made a couple $100 doing this, so I bought the coin and I started watching it go down. And this time I had like $3,000 that week or 2,000 maybe, and I bought in, and I didn't do any research as the coin started tanking. And I was just like, oh, it'll be back up tomorrow. It'll be back up tomorrow. And then I finally did a little bit of research. I found out that Harvest had gotten hacked. Everybody
oh
was
yeah.
pulling their money out of Wifey. And I was just like, wow, I learned a lesson, right? So I pulled out my money. I ended up losing half of it, which was $1,000 at the time. So I learned a big lesson, but it's like doing stupid things that long shots, sometimes they work out. And you don't want to really keep your mind closed. Like if you did, how would you have found anything else other than what you started with? So
Exactly.
so
I
go ahead.
think that's probably one of the reasons, or I kind of got into Hex was we're talking about pulse, right? Like the price of pulse, and with Hex appreciating, are we expecting pulse to appreciate? I think I remember like when I heard about Hex, I was like, this sounds like a great coin. But I also knew back then that the coins that are just starting out appreciate the most. And I remember failing to get on that Ethereum because I was like, why are these guys? Why aren't people just buying Bitcoin? Why are they making all these like crazy coins? And there were so many other crazy ones.
Yeah, like this one has fantastic promise of a smart contract. What does that even mean? Right?
Yeah, I sign a smart contract and it's gonna mow my lawn or something. What the hell? Anyways, and I totally missed the boat on that one. And I just remember like then eventually coming out to see Hex around 2018, I think. And I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna miss the boat on this one. This one, I'm gonna get on the ground floor of this one. And of course, I FOMO tarred into the first day like an idiot.
So what was? I'd love to hear everything about this. So what was it like first finding Richard Hart and then watching him develop Hex? Were you with it the whole way? Were you anticipating like 4 more weeks, or did you take a break from everything and just happen to hit it?
Sorry, it looks like you froze up a little bit. I
Oh, I
see
froze
it.
up. Sorry.
I got you. No worries.
What was it like finding Richard from that first video where he was talking about Bitcoin and against Ethereum? What was it like watching, if you did watch, the progression into building Hex? Were you around for that in this step-by-step series manner, like 4 more weeks, or did you take a break for a while and not really be a part of the development and then come back in at a great time?
I was there for pretty much most of all of it. I don't know how much of my input I even gave. I was just kind of there for the ride. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was just kind of like, hey, like, hurry up. I want my Hex. I remember doing those tweets like, Richard's like 4 more weeks. I'm like, I want my Hex, Richard, hurry up. And he's like, dude, I got people foaming at the mouth trying to get Hex, and we're trying to do it as quickly as possible. But, and I'm like one of those guys in there with all caps, hurry up. But I don't even know what I was even expecting from it. Other
Were
than
you expecting this?
hell no.
No.
All I knew was that getting early on a coin is like one of the best things you can do, and that pretty much goes for almost all of them. If you get onto the ground floor, and then the other thing that really made me like really lock into Hex was Richard saying, hey, all these other coins, they don't have marketing. None of them have marketing. It's a tragedy of the commons. And, Richard is saying, hey, no expectations from others, but I'm a master marketer. I'm a master marketer, everybody. I'm like, yeah, this is what we need. We need marketing. Just like no one fucking likes Coca-Cola, but because of the marketing, they're like everywhere. And so I remember kind of wanting to just be into Hex just because of like that aspect alone. And dude, this is just it's blown my mind with what it has done. I mean, we have set the blueprint for future coins on what to do, like how to build a community, how to start YouTube channels, how to do like stuff like this. It wasn't around before Hex.
Right.
We just had all those fooleroos spoon feeding you what to buy from their advertisers, right? Hey, go over to this exchange, trade all your coins away, buy this new coin, this one is a blah, 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 whatever. So that's what we had way back in the day. And now,
I think you're cutting out on your end for a second, Briss. You usually pop right back in, so go ahead.
yeah, I think it's my ISP. I'm going to give them a call back. Hey, what the heck? I pay good money.
Same thing's happening to me, so it's both of us. Don't worry about it.
So, shit, what was I saying?
Whew, where were we?
Chat. What was I saying? Is anyone even listening?
Yeah. Looking for Hex when you were looking for it.
Anyways,
come on.
But
I was right there with you, Briss. I'm sorry.
No worries. There's probably something with the marketing, but
anyways. Yeah. Richard has exactly.
Oh, this is my buddy. How you doing, guy?
Nice. That's
This
your girlfriend? That's what everybody was calling for before?
he's actually my boyfriend.
Oh, all right.
His name's
Nice.
Professor Oatmeal. And he
Nice.
probably wants food.
Nice.
So
That's not your roommates that are sharing your internet, right?
yeah, actually, he's one of them. He's watching
Okay.
cat porn all day long. My little bastard.
Nice.
But Jordan. Yeah. Oh yeah. So about building the hex. You know what it was? I remember exactly what it was. RG3, Discourse Syndicate. When that show first came on, it kind of blew my mind. And
As far as Discourse Syndicate F and Hangout or the whole
it,
series?
yeah, it was just the whole thing where he just started putting the community together. And that's what none of these other coins even had. None of them had a solid community. They may have had like a subreddit, but that's all anonymous, and you don't really get to know people on Reddit. Okay, no. And RG3 built his community on Telegram, and then I'm sorry, not RG3. Richard Hart built his community on Telegram, and then when RG3 started doing Discourse Syndicate, I don't know, something about that. Just I'm like, dude, this is so good for Hex. I really don't think Hex would be what it is today without the Hexologist and RG3 building up this community. I really don't think it would have. It would be as great as it is, to tell you the truth.
I agree 100%. Those guys are the left and the right as far as what got me through everything. To start, I'm curious, Briss, as to your particular experience with exactly those guys, exactly finding them. I'm glad you brought that up because I always ask about Richard Hart and Hex with OGs. It's kind of very similar. Like most people either fall into like this camp or that camp with that story. I think what's really cool though is maybe like, what were you doing in life? Like, and then you found RG, or like you found Hexo and he was on every day. And like, that's really where our community to me started. Like Richard's videos were amazing. And that's obviously the catalyst for the community, but it wasn't until I started checking in with those two shows on a routine that like, I felt home. I was like, wow, something was happening. Something was coming alive inside me, and like, it was Hexologist energy. It was his routine, it was his routine. And then RG would come on and give it to you straight and be brash and be outlandish. And I just love I love that. So what were you doing in life when you found them? Like what was it like? And then what made you want to join up with RG and the Discourse Syndicate and come on stream?
I was just basically working. I'm a blue collar worker. I'm a machinist by trade, and and I just have my wireless headphones. In fact, let me see if I got them right here. Anyways, but yeah, I got my headphones for work that noise canceling, and they have Bluetooth, and I just listen to crypto stuff all day long while working, and yeah, so I'd just be listening to like the Hexo and RG3 and the Discourse Syndicate while working.
You work second shift at the time?
I work different shifts,
Stayed
but
overtime or what?
Oh yeah, usually like a 10-hour shift.
Yeah.
Start at like 3 in the morning, get off at like 11:30, or start off at 1:30 p.m., get off at like 11:30.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
But the truth is that
Cut out for 1 second, Briss. You cut out for just 1 second. You'll be right back right about now.
So I had this Australian guy contact me in the very early days, and he was like, "Hey, let's do an interview."
Contact you from what? I maybe missed something. What do you mean?
Sorry, just to do an interview.
But contact you
on through Hex.
Okay.
He contacted me on Telegram and said,
Because
"Hey,
you were
we
in
should."
the chat rooms and Telegram, and he was like, "We should do something on stream."
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not really interested on being on stream.
Oh,
I'm
was this
like,
person RG?
no,
No.
no, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
This is a different guy. I don't really see him around that much anymore. He did contact me a couple of weeks ago, but
You want to put him on blast now or no?
no, he's a great guy.
No, I'm just kidding.
But he's like, hey, let's do an interview. I'm like, nah, I'm totally not interested on being on stream. And then Hex started kind of launching, and everyone, you right, buddy? All the furus started calling it a scam. I'm like, and when you watch them, you know they don't know what they're talking about. You know, they're saying things that are just completely false. And it just started getting to me. I'm like, I contacted that guy a couple weeks later, and I said, you know what? Hell yeah, let's do a stream. Let's get this out here. Let's tell people what Hex is really about.
Awesome.
And that was the very first time I ever actually went on stream. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, it was kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Going on streams kind of fun. We're like low rate celebrities, like, like Z
I was
rate,
gonna say, what do they call it?
B rate, but we're
B-rate,
about like
yeah.
Z rate,
Z-rate,
right?
yeah.
And so I went on there, and then shortly after that was like in December of 2019, and then I don't know when RG started the Discourse Syndicate, but I saw that and I was like, oh my god, this is exactly what the community needs. People out there talking about Hex and just kind of really telling you what it's really about. And then after that, I think I just got on there once or twice, and I was like, all right, cool. Now I just go on the Discourse Syndicate every once in a while, just help try and keep the community positive. I'm trying to make a lot of memes, trying to make people smile and laugh. You can tell almost the sentiment of a market via its memes.
Absolutely.
And so I just started a Hex meme page on Facebook. So
Cool.
if anybody wants to check that out, I'll put it inside the link inside the chat box.
You gonna type it into YouTube? If you share it with me, and I can do it as well if you don't have another window open.
Yeah, I'll
cool.
Send it to you.
Yeah.
So feel free to come join and post anything Hex Pulse meme related or just anything crypto related about Hex and Pulse in general.
Oh, you got it already too in there. Cool. Yeah, Briss.
So yeah. But dude, I'm so bullish on Hex and on Pulse, and it really doesn't matter how high Hex or Bitcoin, for everyone that sacrificed Bitcoin, it doesn't matter how high it goes, because the amount of X's that Pulse can do is gonna blow everyone's minds. You're gonna have your mind blown. So even if you only put in a little bit to test the waters, you're gonna be very happy, and you're gonna be very regretful that you didn't put more in. Because, quite honestly, I held on to my Bitcoins for far too long. I should have got rid of them for Hex a long time ago, but I am happy to have sacrificed them for Pulse, because the X's I'm gonna get from Pulse, Bitcoin will never be able to match, at least not anytime soon.
So when will you buy your Bitcoin back? When will you buy 1 or 2 or 10 of them?
I'm gonna buy at least one of them back eventually.
But when, Briss? Or would you spend $1 million for it if you have 100 million?
That's the thing. If it ran away, I probably wouldn't buy it back. That's that whole unit bias thing.
You got to have one though, right? Like it's something you
Just for
always want.
sentimental value.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, give me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can pull something down real quick.
If it drops to 8 or 10, even 12, I'm certainly going to entertain having a Bitcoin. Hex is allowed that. I wasn't able to purchase a Bitcoin before I was into Hex, nor did I know that you could purchase a portion of a Bitcoin like a lot of other people. When I first got into crypto, I looked at I looked at Bitcoin on Coinbase, and I was like, wow, when I have $12,000,
Hey,
I'm
Marcus.
going to buy one of those.
See, I bought one of these things a long time ago, and this thing, I've kept it in pristine condition.
What is that, Bruce?
This is one of my favorite pieces of Bitcoin nostalgia. It has no Bitcoin on it.
It's not drugs that you purchased from the darknet.
Look, this is number 28 of 500. It's called a Kialara. I don't know if that'll come in or not.
Barely, but I'm with you. What's inside the package?
This right here it's just a piece of like Bitcoin art. There we go.
You know what? Let me throw you up on screen. Oh, wow.
And that, it's supposed to.
Can you go back to the other side, please, for a minute? Yeah, just like that.
It's just a little piece of art, and it's like expertly, like each piece is crafted to where you take this apart, and you're supposed to put a Bitcoin or any crypto private key on the backside, and now it's like a piece of artwork that actually is a physical piece that can hold your Bitcoin basically, or any kind of crypto really, and it's just supposed to be kind of cool. And I remember I always wanted to like buy one Bitcoin and like put it on here, and then if I ever were to sell it, you just sell the whole piece together, but they'd have to trust I didn't have the private keys.
Yeah, and you, Briss, I'm sure you've thought of this. Somebody that could have the private key of yours right now.
What? but there's nothing on here, just a piece of metal. But yeah, I've always thought the whole idea, the only reason why I brought that out is I always wanted to buy back at least one Bitcoin and then place it on this guy. But all I do is keep it wrapped up in freaking a box anyways, right?
Yeah.
But Kialara, look it up, boys and girls. That's some Bitcoin history for you right there.
Briss, I do have a question, and let me know if this is you don't want to talk about it for any reason. That's cool. I know you were not active in the community for a little while, and it was a little scary, right? So you went through something physically, right? And I was wondering, did that take a toll on you spiritually, emotionally, physically? Like what did you go through? If you're willing to share that with the community, and that's part of the reason why I was looking forward to streaming with you, if you are comfortable talking about it, because
for sure,
I myself had a brain injury. I know what it feels like to work through something like that. So I'm just curious if you're experiencing also any challenges related to what you went through as well. So if anybody doesn't know, could you walk us through what happened?
Yeah, for sure. I don't really like to talk about it too much because I don't want it to be like my personality. Like I never posted about it on my Facebook, social media, nothing like that. And I really actually never meant for it to go and get spread out inside the Hex community, because it's just like if it feels like pandering for attention, right? And so for anyone that
feel
does
a lot like that, Briss. It did feel a lot like that.
Yeah.
No,
And so
brother.
for
Not
anyone
at
that
all.
doesn't know, I was recently diagnosed with a brain tumor back in like April, and I consider RG a pretty close friend, and I told him via text messaging, I'm like, hey, I might not be on Discourse Syndicate for a little while. I don't know how serious this is yet. So, if I don't come back on, I just want to let you know, all right, buddy?
Right.
And RG3 ended up opening up his big mouth on Discourse Syndicate and kind of telling everybody.
I
And
remember.
I was not expecting that at all. And the truth is that because he did that, the Hex community reached out to me, like in private messages, all through Telegram, things like that, and they sent so many great heartfelt messages and things like that. And so I just want to say, because RG3 did that, it made the process so much easier for me.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you. So even though even though I wasn't expecting that, I didn't want him to do that, I'm actually pretty happy that he did do that, because it helped like guys like you that reached out to me, and it just helped. It just
Yeah.
really helped going through the whole cancer process. Um,
We were thinking about you, Briss. You were. I noticed you weren't there. Hadn't
yeah,
seen you for a while, and I had seen you maybe disappear for a couple weeks, maybe even a month. But like, it was a long time, and I obviously wasn't alone. And I think we were pressing RG. Like, where are you? Where are you? And thankfully, he did share that, because you never expect to hear something like that. It's a surprise.
yeah,
And to someone like what you represented to me, um, you're like, not in a demeaning way, a character in our community, where it's someone I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Like, I like your perspective, what you bring. And so because you were now sick, because wow, like what's going on with you at home? That was scary, you know?
yeah. Basically, I was at work, and like I said, I have safety ear protection on. I got like safety goggles on, and I'm looking at these like little tiny metal parts, and like I just couldn't really see them. I'm lifting up my glasses, and it's just like I was having such a hard time seeing it. And then when I really noticed, it was when I was driving home. The license plates on cars were blurry off to the sides. The peripheral vision was getting blurrier, and then I started having a hard time reading sentences on the computer, and I'm like, you know what, this just does not feel right. Nothing hurts. It was just blurry. It was just a little blurry.
Yeah.
I'm like, this just doesn't seem right. So
Did you wear
uh,
glasses normally?
no,
Not, no.
no,
Okay.
I
So
know.
you thought it might be that then, right?
Well, I have a motorcycle, and maybe a couple months prior, I was riding in the evening, and I have like my visor is like sunglass material, so I had it up because it was getting darker, and I was riding my motorcycle, and a bunch of bugs
Oh,
hit my
wow.
eyeballs, and I thought, and then this happened like maybe.
Yeah. Thought somehow they must be related. You thought they might be related.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to go to my optometrist, and he's gonna say you need corrective eye surgery. They have to shave the lens or something. And I was like, damn, that's gonna cost me so much money. All right. And then he helped diagnose that it was probably the brain tumor. We went and got an MRI basically the next day, and we got it all diagnosed and figured out. And then I went into surgery pretty shortly after. They went in up and through the nose. They freaking took 2 scoops, gave me a little bit of lobotomy. Now Now I'm a Biden supporter. No, just joking, guys. Just joking. No politics.
No, you still got a little brains left, right?
And so yeah, but I'm doing fantastic now. I just had an MRI like 2 weeks ago. Can you believe these fuckers made me pay up front? They don't think I'm good for it.
What?
Yeah. Well, you kind of racked up a big debt on the other hospital bill. You're gonna have to pay for this one up front, buddy.
Damn.
But yeah, so I had to pay for the MRI up front, and I talked to the doctor the next day. This was about 2 weeks ago, and they said everything looks great. No signs of anything coming back.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so that's great. So so you can kind of say that was like something I had to overcome.
For sure, dude. 100%.
But I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't feel like I even did that much. I just sat
it
back.
Wasn't scary.
I mean,
it all happened so fast that you almost didn't even have to accept it, or what?
Exactly. I mean, like I remember sitting inside the ER the first day after, like, getting the very first MRI where they very first diagnosed it, and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna admit you to the hospital tonight." I'm like, "But I got work tomorrow." He's like, "Yeah, well, this is a little more important, buddy." I'm like, "All right." So all the stress, I think, really went on the doctor's hands.
Yeah.
And I just had to sit back, get one little needle in the arm, and just, go to sleep.
They put you out. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Put you
Thank
out,
you, Second Domino. Thank you. And thank you, everyone else that's wishing me well. I really appreciate it.
Have you had any issues from what they took out? Have you experienced anything where you are forgetful or don't have motor skills? Anything?
There's
you forget?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple like little tiny issues, but it's just really like I got to take a couple pills a day. Yeah. Nothing too big. Had nothing.
Are you almost 40 though? That might be that, Briss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm actually. I am actually almost 40.
Nice, Joel. You don't look 40. I figured you were maybe just about to be 30, Briss.
Well, hey, thank you.
Looking great, brother.
Flattery will get you everywhere, buddy.
Yeah. All right, that's what I'm here for.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, I'm pretty good. The only thing is, like, I sat at home for like 3 months after the surgery because they're just like, "Hey, we need you to not be working." And man, I got freaking fat, bro. I got fat. Not too much. I mean, I gained like 30 pounds.
I can tell you gained a little weight. You're looking good now, though. Again, are you losing it again?
Yeah, no. Yeah. As soon as I started going back to work, immediately, it's because I'm not sitting at home shoving freaking food in my face when I'm at work. I'm at work. I'm working.
Yeah.
When I'm at home, I'm eating like a fat little boy. But yeah.
You a good cook, Briss? Or you eat snacks all the time, or what do you do when you're home?
I'm actually a pretty good cook, to tell you the truth. I don't go out. I don't really buy fast food, so I cook at home a lot. And so I cook almost pretty much every night. I had a little bit of salmon and tilapia last night. The night before I did like a little chicken curry.
Types of fish in one night?
Oh yeah, I got them. I got the fillets already pre-filleted inside the freezer, so
nice,
you just kind of thaw them out. And I mean, I'd cook 2 salmon fillets, but that's a lot
of salmon.
Hoity-toity. I don't want to think people thinking I'm rich or something. So
right.
I do 1 salmon, 1 tilapia.
Yeah, nice, dude.
And then
keep
when
that street cred going for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm eating a tilapia. I'm like, man, this fish tastes like dirt. It tastes like it eats dirt. I'm like, what the heck?
I don't eat a lot of fish myself, but I do like tilapia when I've had it.
Yeah, no, it's great. I like it. It's a good, decent white fish. And then, I cook a lot of steaks at home, hamburgers, things like that.
You smoke different stuff and like a meat smoker?
No, but
No.
dude, I totally want to. I want to get like a smoker and just start like, smoking meat. All right.
I could see you doing that, dude.
And
I
now
think you'd be great at it. You know,
I'm gonna get all the
get some cedar
trolls in the
chips,
comments.
right? There's your chance, COTG.
I am a part of this, like, what's it called? The smoking meat mafia or something like that on the Facebook pages. I'm always just like, they're all, hey, look at this, like, wood pellet smoker. I'm like, man, one of these days,
I could tell.
when I
I
don't
don't
have
know
a
how.
upstairs apartment, I'll be able to get something like that.
Yeah, nice. I just had barbecue myself tonight. That's why I was thinking about it. My wife went and picked up. There's a great barbecue place around here. Everything was closed because of Labor Day,
Oh yeah,
so there's really nothing open. So we had some good barbecue. Um, Briss,
congrats. Go
is
ahead.
I just wanted to say that I think that's remarkable what you went through, and I'm glad to hear it hasn't affected you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. It's just crazy how that can just happen to one of us, right?
Yeah, life
And
comes at you so fast.
yeah, dude, and like you could easily not be here because of it. A lot of times people don't make it through what you went through. So, uh, you know, I'm
You know,
glad you're here, and you have a great what's the word? You have a great way about yourself regarding it.
thank you.
What am
You
I
know,
trying to say?
really, what I would like to, one of the things that I'd like to turn this into, because the last thing I need is a pity party for me, right? I don't want people going, like, oh, support, brain tumor boy, blah, 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 blah. What I really want to turn this into is
So-
like a life extension segment. I want everyone to take care of themselves. If you're feeling any kind of, problems, don't be a tough guy. Don't tough it out. You know, don't get rich with Hex and then die. All right. We need as many hexagons as we can get, and we need you guys to live as long as possible to help spread the word. So, that's kind of how I want to turn this into a life extension segment,
cool.
to kind of go along with like the whole Richard Hart medical research like theme that we kind of have going on. So yeah. So I just want everyone to know, hey, if you're feeling any kind of uncomfortableness, go get it checked out. Because that's how we lose so many of our people. They don't get things checked out when they're feeling a little bit of a problem, and then the next thing you know, they got like stage 4 somewhere.
Yeah, thank you. It must have been scary to go through what you went through, and to put all that trust in another human being, and get put to sleep, and then have the results happen is miraculous. You probably wouldn't have fared so well if you didn't catch it so soon. I mean, I'm no doctor,
and,
but I imagine, right?
and on top of that, I live in a really great area for this. I live in Southern California, so I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd hate to be in Puerto Rico and be like, oh man, I got a brain problem. I'm sure they got
Funding
great
Jim
doctors
shows
out
up,
there.
right? And he's trying
Right.
to arbitrage some Amazon products.
All right. No, but I'm probably sure I'd fly my ass right back out to California and get taken care of just fine. But yeah.
Cool. Well, um, I appreciate that. It's not something that I would think to say, and I just know I don't go to the doctors very often, and I'm just glad that you said that. Glad you can bring some awareness to that, and so I want to thank you, Briss, for joining me tonight. We'll wrap it up. We got at 10:30,
Thank
I
you for
believe.
having me.
Yeah, thank you, dude. It's a pleasure. Sure we'll be on again soon on F and Hangout on Discourse
Hell yeah.
Syndicate.
And Hex is going to $10 pretty soon, guys. Look, I'm telling you, how many dollars do you need? How many dollars do you want? Buy that many Hex and just keep buying it. 'Cause I'm telling you, dude, I'm telling you guys, Dude, all right, I checked out the liquidity pools yesterday. We had like 54 million hex. I checked them out again today. We're like 47 million hex.
Come on, really?
Yeah, and I got the pictures. I got the proof. Okay, I got the proof. I
Wow.
got the documents. I got the documents.
Well, so maybe you could give me a little financial advice. This is not financial advice. I'm sorry, right? What do you think about? I'm conflicted right now because I set a goal, and I said when I get there, as long as it's been a year that I've had Hex, I'm going to start to sell, and I'll sell my interest that I've accrued, roll over my principal, right? And so I've started to do that. I've actually started to sell as of like 10 days ago. Now, fortunately and unfortunately, I set a scale. So every time we go up 10%, I'm going to sell another allotment. Every time, every time, every time. So with Hex, the price has been moving up 10% like every day. So basically, my allotment that I thought would maybe get me through like the next 3 months, I'm going through it pretty fast, right? And I'm wondering, what do you do when you haven't taken profits, but you have an opportunity to get even, to pay down your debt, to start a new life essentially with your family, right? Like that's what I'm doing. Um, and I'm wondering right now. My wife and I are figuring this out together. Um, I'm thinking of slowing down the schedule because it's taking off so fast. We're at 40 cents. Um, to think 10 days ago we were at 20 cents. It's
Were we really that low 10 days ago?
yeah, I want to say 10 days ago. It could be
Wow,
approximately 12 days ago, but like it
that's
wasn't
awesome.
much longer than that I first put my limit orders in. I was getting ready for just under a quarter. I wanted to make 100 times my money, right? And with staking, that's when I would start taking it out. So that's when my wife and I decided to do that. So we're taking it out on that schedule, and it's just, I wonder, just Briss, have you experienced, you know, taking money out of these currencies, right? Have you gotten profit? Have you gotten even in Bitcoin and Digibyte, Litecoin, Hex? Like, is it, you almost feel guilty doing it when you start if you have?
I'm really bad at taking profits. When Bitcoin went from 300 to 1200 for the very first time, I didn't cash out and I wrote it all the way back down. When it went up to 17 grand, I wrote it all the way back down to 3 grand. And when it hit 64 grand, I wrote it all the way back down to 30, and then I sacrificed it. So I'm not good at taking profits. Um, I remember my Litecoin bag. I remember it being like maybe 2 or 3 months before big payday, and I was like, I got a clever idea. I'll convert them into Hex, and I'll stake them, and then when I get the big payday, I'll triple my Litecoin and take them all back out, right? But I think someone had thought about that ahead of time, and even then, everyone who staked until big payday and just right after, everyone got a 30% bonus.
Yeah,
So how can you be mad with increasing your bag by 30%? But the problem was,
especially if you have that now today. If you held
all
on to
right,
that,
yeah, and the problem was that I just never converted it back into Litecoin. I just kept it all all in Hex, and then I did the same thing with Digibyte. I converted it all into Hex, and I just Hex is just so freaking good. Like it's just Hex is better. Hex is better than everything else. Um, so yeah, I'm not good at taking profits. I do have that crypto.com card, that debit card. It's a prepaid debit card.
yep. I
And
think I have
so
that as well. I haven't used it, but I just got one.
it's pretty great. I'll throw in like, $500 every now and then on top of that guy,
It's
and just
USDC, right? Or can you pick on that one?
you can do a whole bunch of coins. You
Okay.
could do USDC, Ethereum, the CRO native coin.
Can you pick which one you want to spend when you go to spend it?
Well, what happens is you send your coins to their wallet, your wallet, and then when you want to add onto the debit card, you're cashing them out at that moment,
Okay.
and you put that cash onto the debit card,
Okay.
and then you can just spend that debit card wherever you want. So, just cash out whatever you plan on spending for the next, I don't know, week, month, whatever you want. But I think that's a great way to cash out some of your profits, because it's just an easy way to convert your cryptos into real world goods and services. And yeah, I feel like you don't really have to like dump large amounts of hex, to put $500, $1,000 on your crypto debit card. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good way.
I'm wondering, Briss, should you come up with a plan then, like to get some profit out? Because if you never have, are you maybe this is an intervention. Maybe we got to have this discussion.
I've had so many people tell me, take profits along the way, and I'm just like, all that means to me is buy the ultimate shitcoin, the US dollar. I'm like, I don't want the US dollar. It is not a good money. It's not a good currency. Even the crappiest crypto is better than the US dollar. And that's the way I really feel about it. And, look at freaking Bitcoin. It's worth 50,000 US dollars, and, and eventually all cryptos are going to just absorb the entire monetary ecosystem. So I don't know. I know we got to wrap it up pretty soon, but I'm just not good at taking profits, which makes me a great hexagon, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vote Briz.
Yeah.
Vote Briz. It's joking.
Yeah.
But I think so. Here's one thing I do really want to say real quick is that a lot of us OG hexagons, we're making some serious money, and it's awesome. And I think we just got to remember we got to be good shepherds of the currency. All right. I don't think it's cool to just cash out, 600 grand to $1 million.
Market sell.
Yeah, just to market sell that much money all at once. Take out what you need when you need it. Take profits, buy stuff that you want, but let's all be good shepherds of the currency. Let's not drive the price into the floor, and let's just try and that's the thing. That's the thing about Bitcoin and all these other currencies is that they do just get pile drived into the ground, and then it just freaks out all the retail investors. And that's why everyone is still so sketchy on things as simple as Bitcoin and the other top 5 cryptos, I guess. So, let's not do that to Hex. And, I got large medical bills, but I am not paying those off all at once. They gave me basically an interest-free loan. So I'm going to pay it off very slowly with very little amounts. And, I'm going to try and be. Go ahead.
That's exactly what I'm in the same boat where I have a lot of credit card debt that is short term that I need to pay off the principal because I don't want to carry. And then I have a gigantic amount that is in the 0% because I've transferred it over, right?
Nice.
So I'm in the same boat where I don't want to sell my hex to pay off a debt that's at 0% that I have another however many months where in that many months the hex is going to appreciate so much.
Exactly.
At the same time, right? There's a part of me that because I'm doing this, I set a goal, I committed to it with my wife. We're doing it. We're now we're assessing our goals because it's moving up so fast. I don't want to be out of hex in the next couple of weeks. when I
Yeah.
know that in the next couple of months we're looking at $1 hex for sure, in my opinion, right? Not financial
Yep.
advice, but in my opinion. And so it's just such a weird conundrum because like life is happening now. We have bills now. We're trying to plan now. We could die tomorrow, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
like there's mm, that responsible middle of the road approach that I'm trying to learn and navigate. So I don't know, you know, if we're making the right choice or not. I don't feel like we're making the wrong choice. I don't want to tell anyone you should be selling or not selling, but I think it's just something I'm experiencing. It's feelings I'm having. I don't know how to process because I feel like I feel like a trader on one hand that I'm selling my hex for so cheap. On the other hand, I feel so vindicated and so like at ease, you know, because I'm reducing my debt and this paid off. It worked. So you know,
Yeah,
that's it.
for me, I carried, like just a small amount of credit card debt for years, and it was just such a hindrance because it was like probably 26% interest, right? And I'm just trying to grind it out with a low paying job, and and it was hard. It was hard to get that credit card debt off while at the same time trying to accumulate cryptos. And I just remember back in the day, I told myself, I'm like, you know what? Big payday. That's when I pay off my credit card. And, big payday came, you got big payday, right? And, I paid off my credit card, which is, I think, less than
Oh, so
$4,000.
you did. You sold some hex then. That's
Yeah.
pretty, all
Yeah.
right.
That was on
That's
big
pretty
payday. I remember now, like, that was like, I remember, because I don't have any credit card debt
cool. Well,
anymore.
that's kind of like taking profit, Briss. You know, that was
Yeah.
good. You
It
know,
was a very small amount. I
yeah,
mean, like 3 grand. Um,
yeah. That would only
but
be worth $300,000 right now, right, Briss?
probably. And
That's
so
so. What do we do? You know?
that was the one time I was like, you know what? Like just like you, I had a bunch of credit card debt for years, and I was so sick of having it. And that was the thing that I was like, all right, on big payday, I'm going to pay off my credit card. And so I don't know what big payday that might be for you. Who knows? Maybe that could be the day Pulse reaches its first 1000x. You can go, you know what? I'm taking some of this money. No matter what, when Pulse hits 1000x, I'm going to take a chunk of this money and pay off my credit card or
Right.
whatever debt you might have. So I did that with Big Payday in November 2020.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
that's what I'm doing now. That's what my wife and I are doing now.
yeah,
So the cool thing is, we just, you know, I want to finalize it with my wife, but the approach that I'd like to go forward to is every allotment that we have, instead of selling it at, let's say, 10,000 hex, we'll sell it at 5,000 hex. So we'll cut the quantity in half, and then that way, you know, have 10 entry points instead of 5, and prolong our ability to live off the interest for that much longer. What's
yeah,
crazy is when you write out a schedule like this on an Excel sheet and it just moves up 10%. And you just do that like 32 times. It's just crazy what happens to the principal that you get out. So,
yeah.
uh, you know, I suggest if you guys haven't done that, take out, if you have your ladder and you're trying to figure out how to make it through the next couple of years and you're ready to take profits, figure out what you can do with that interest, how much you'd be willing to sell every month, what the price would look like at this point. What if it raises 10%? You know, you can make a whole Excel sheet with a plan per month, per allotment number of sale. Like this is my 6th sell, my 7th sell, you know, and so like I'm looking at it that way. And it's just very helpful for me to visualize. It puts me at peace because I understand that even if we don't move it up at all in price right now, I'm good. We're good. And then, wow, what if we follow this path? This is impressive. So we
Yeah.
do want to close it down. Everybody, please check out Motley the Investors channel right now over on YouTube. He's going to be getting started. Thank
Let's
you for
go,
joining
Motley.
us. Yeah, Motley. He's got a lot of exciting things working. He's working with Wave 3, Wasabi, looking to crypto, right? So they're going to have some special news coming. We'll see you over there in the chat. And Briss, want to say one last time, brother, thank you so much for tonight. It's
Thank
been a
you for
pleasure.
having me.
And we'll see you over on Discourse Syndicate, everybody. And thank you for joining us, Briss. Just real quick before we go, did you want to show anything as far as a project, where you'll be, anything you're working on?
Not really.
You gonna hit up that road trip? Join for a stop or two?
You know, I think they have a spot in LA. I think they're doing a thing in LA, and that's not too far from me. So yeah, maybe I'll go head up there and check that out.
Cool.
And I have a surprise. My car might have a hood.
Awesome. Good man. Looking forward to that.
All right, guys. Take care.
Have a good night, everybody.
I guess Facebook Hex Memes. That's the one page you can go to.
Facebook.com/groups/Hex Memes, right?
Boom. Got it.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody.